Hey YouTube, what's going on? I wanted to give you guys an update on the Zino 2, especially since GearBest was selected as a Zino exclusive distributor for the Zino 2 pre-order business. So here's the prices. So you can see right now is $3.99, and that is for one battery without a bag. So this is all you get right here, okay? And if you choose to get two batteries and a storage bag, and 99 cents, that's US dollars, right? But what also you need to know, there's 60 of these been pre-ordered, and they're going up fast, it looks like. So you guys got to jump in on this, because there's 15 days left, but I'm not sure how many quantity are when they stop doing a pre-order. So if you want a really decent drone for a decent price, so you're talking Mavic quality drone here. This is really exciting for the industry to have this much competition going on. So we have the Xiaomi Fimi X8 that actually competes directly with the Mavic Air and the Mavic product line, not the Mavic 2, but the older Mavic product lines, right? And now we have the Hubsan Zino 2 competing directly with that product line, but at a price point under $400. That's incredible, right? So you either have to choose this guy, the Fimi X8 SE, or you can choose getting the Mini. All right, well, let's get into a little further down, see what they're talking about here. And they have a little bit more information on their specs here. So since they're 4-kilometer range, right? We're talking about 4K and 60 frames a second. We're talking about the 1.3-inch CMOS sensor, which is a Sony sensor. And the word on the street is that it's an IM317 sensor. And so now the remote controller has that LCD visible display is what they're showing here. They call it with digital display. Which probably really high nit values, right? So probably maybe, I don't know, 600, 800 nits. So we'll be able to be visible under bright light conditions. And, you know, we're talking about 33-minute cruising speed, real slow cruising speed, and, 31-minute hovering speeds, right? So I'm not sure what they're talking about here. The latest firmware kind of remote controller online through the app. So upgrading the firmware through the app. And number 7 here, I'm not sure. Negative film are downloaded directly via a wireless link. That I have no idea what they're talking about. If you guys know what that is, drop us a comment below. One of the big innovative things that we talked about earlier is number 8 here, which is that detachable gimbal. Who would have thought, right? But that makes sense for service purposes. You can pull it off and replace it pretty fast, because if you're going to crash it, most likely that's what's going to break beside an arm. But most of the time, most people will replace the arms themselves or send it to Chris at the QC guy, right? So Chris has been doing a wonderful job keeping everybody up to date on the Zino 2. And, he is probably going to give us some information at Zino Nation later today. Our friend Ron Brown and Marcus on hosting that live stream. So if you guys are interested, hit that live stream later today, this evening at 8. It's 9 o'clock Eastern time on Mondays is when they stream live. And Chris is going to be the guest there, so it's going to be very exciting to hear what Chris has got to say, because he's been in touch with executives from Hubsan, so they've been giving him some information, and hopefully he'll be able to share that with us tonight. Okay, let's get back to the specs here on the quadcopter. And one of the important things to look at here is the maximum takeoff altitude. So what they're saying is that this guy can go 5 kilometers up the altitude is 5 kilometers, right? Not that we can do that here in the U.S., but I guess other countries you could do it. So if you were traveling overseas to some island or something, you can put this guy way up there. Now, getting it back down safely would be a different story. All right, so we talk about flight times. Yeah, we went over 33 and 32 minutes, right? And then what we're seeing is endurance mileage. So if you wanted to do laps around the area where you're at, what they're saying here is that you could do 20 kilometers under normal conditions, and in perfect conditions you could do 50 kilometers an hour. Okay, that'd be a couple batteries, right? Maybe 3 to be able to do that. And the wind resistance, so we're talking over 50 kilometer an hour wind gusts that it can resist, or just wind itself. So that's phenomenal. And it's due to those powerful engines or motors that it has. And that's because it's doing 20 meters a second. So 20 meters a second is getting it, guys. I was like, oh my gosh, what is 20 meters a second? I don't know. It's going to be like 40 miles an hour. So that's fast, guys. It's a fast drone and it's powerful. And so what are they saying here? This max rotational speed is basically saying that it can pull a UE at a little bit over a second. So a UE would be 180 degrees. So a little bit over a second and make a UE, not a yaw, but a UE. And then we're talking about the working temperatures. This is big too, because they're giving us a minus 10 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius. Yeah, I read that correctly, right? Yeah. So minus 10 to 40 degrees Celsius. So what is that? Okay, so that's going to be 14 degrees Fahrenheit. 7 is 98. Yeah, so it's going to be about 100 degrees Fahrenheit in the operating temperatures. And then we know about the frequency. So the working frequency is going to be that 5.725 to 5.850 gigahertz. And then GPS is going to be the US GPS and the Russian GLONASS. So the pan and tilt, these are important numbers to look at here. All right, let's take a look at this. So they're saying that the pitch can go from minus 135 to 45 degrees. So what does that mean? Okay, so that means that, you know, if we're sitting here and we bend our knees sitting down, you know, normally you like to keep it 90 degrees to be in a neutral position. And so that's looking straight down. And so if you go beyond that, another 45 degrees, you're going to get to that minus 135 degrees. So it basically can look behind to some degree. And why you want to do that? Well, if the drone is climbing at a fast rate, the camera needs, if you're pitching the camera at 90 degrees when you first start, and then you jam on the throttle, it's going to climb and jam on the direction straight ahead, that camera is going to have to adjust to keep focus on the right location. Sorry, lost my train of thought there. And the other thing here is, as you jam on your direction, your right stick, if you do mode 2, as fast as you can move it forward, that drone is going to stand on his nose to go as fast as it can. So it's going to raise that camera up, and it can raise it up to 45 degrees. So that's phenomenal. So what does that mean? Well, that means that if you're traveling real slow or you're just hovering, you can raise the camera up, but not look straight up, like, but pretty doggone close, guys. So half of the range of the Nafi. So it's still phenomenal to be able to look up, okay? All right, so they're giving us some important numbers here on the roll, minus 40 degrees to 30 degrees. And then on the shift, they were saying minus 35 to 35. So what does that mean? Well, as the drone rolls, you know, with the wind or whatever, as you're maneuvering, that camera has to be able to, or the gimbal has to be able to keep track of it. So if you think about it, it's a little less than 45, negative 45 and plus 45. So very nice also, very good numbers. And then we're talking about the shift. Hey, I'm not sure what the shift would be for. So we talked about the pitch. Oh, okay, so that's going to be the yaw. Oh, okay, I got it. So the yaw is going to be able, as you yaw the drone, this thing's going to have to be able to move, keep the gimbal steady. So not quite 45, not 40, but 35 and 35. That's what that is. Okay. And the controllable range is minus 90 to 0 degrees is what they're saying. Okay. Oh, so maybe not. We might not be able to look up. I'm hoping we can, but it looks promising. So we know it's a 3-axis gimbal, maximum pitch speed. So it's going to do 100 degrees in a second. So that's moving the camera up and down pretty fast, guys. And then the angle pitch is very minimal. So that's important that they're keeping this thing very, so, you know, we're doing in the 100, so 1/100th of a degree. So very nice camera. All right, or should I say gimbal. Sorry about that, because now we're getting into the camera. So the camera is going to be 1/2.3 CMOS sensor. We talked about that being the Sony IMX317 is the word. View angle 80 degrees, and then equivalent focal length is going to be 24 to 48. So what does that mean? Well, if we put in 720p at 200 frames per second, then there's got to crop in half as much because it's got to process so much data. So that's where you get the 48, I betcha. All right, move on down to the aperture is 2.2. That's awesome. That means, and combine that with the Umbrella H22 low light capabilities, that gives us a really nice combination for low light photography and videography. So that's nice to have. And then ISO, we're going to be from 100 to 1600. Pretty much industry, and then they're saying here that that's automatic, and in manual mode we can go all the way up to 3200. Very nice. So again, these specs are very promising, and it's fantastic to read these to you guys. And we talked about the resolution before. In 4K you get 30, 60 frames per second, and in 2K you're going to get them in, again, 30 and 60 frames a second. And HD, you're going to get it 30, 60, and 120 frames a second is going to be your choices. And as we talked about earlier, in 720p, you can have 200 frames a second, 120, 60, and 30 frames a second. So it's very promising. Now I'm going to highlight the video bit rate here because that's important. 100 megabits per second. That's amazing. So can we record in RAW? It looks like we can. Now that is the JPEG. So image quality, we're going to be able to do RAW images. So that's promising. So for you guys who like to shoot in RAW, hey, you will be able to get your photos in RAW. And looking at the video formats, we're going to be getting you can film either in MP4s or movie format. So that's nice to have the choice. And you're going to be able to use either the H.264 codec or the for movies, you're going to use the MPEG-4 ABC codec. So that's nice for you guys that like to have a little variety on your editing. they're giving you the choices. And then moving up here to the battery, it looks like they're just giving you the same facts, but the important thing is they're giving us the voltages in the cell. So it's a 4-cell battery that's 17 volts. Very nice. And then it gives you your maximum charging voltages is 17.6. So for you guys that like to charge your batteries on your hobby grade chargers, you could do it here. Intelligent lithium, probably a lithium polymer battery. And it's a smart battery, right? And it gives you the total energy and how much the battery weighs. So it's a pretty heavy battery, guys. So it's 310 grams. So it's up there. So the drone itself is probably going to be about 600 grams because this drone weighs as much as the FIMI X8 SC and as much as the Mavic 2. All right. What else can we talk about? Charging environment. So they're telling you that you can charge in those temperatures of 14 degrees Fahrenheit to, oh gosh, 100 degrees or so of Fahrenheit. So that's equivalent to -10 Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius. So nothing different there. And giving you the wattage required to charge. So 52.2 watts is what they're saying. So basically that's power. All right, so image transmission, the more powerful image, LES 2.0 image transmission enhanced, you get that 6 kilometers. And then they're giving you the power here of the transmission as 26 dBms. So that is another very nice number. So it's a powerful transmission system, guys, and giving you band right to the 5.725 to the 5.850 hertz range. And they're giving you the charger. You could 100 volts to 240, and the input is 2 amps, and the output current is 3.33 amps. So this thing can get it, right? So as far, and the charging time is 110 minutes. They're not showing that here, but that's what the specs at the Hubsan site was. I remember that. And the output fire is 54 watts. Okay, so that makes sense. And then the remote controller, one of the things to note here is that 3,350 milliamp Henry. So that's a large battery. So you can probably get about somewhere between 4 to 6 flights if you're doing about 100 flights on the controller. And that's what I'm thinking. But if you guys think otherwise, feel free to drop us a comment and let us know. So very nice large battery in the controller. All right, let's see what else is important. Well, we know that the controller is going to have the removable stick. So that is fantastic. So here's the specifications. So we just went over all that. But what they have down here is, looks like we have some newer pictures. They're all the same. This one's new. They give you the specs right here. And they highlight them. Well, that's new. And then we saw this one on the Hubsan site. That's nice. Oh, this is new. The Umbrella H22 image chip. Take a good picture of the night. Yes, of course. Very nice to see that. All right. So one of the things to note here is a 14 nanometer technology, right? So it's a very dense chip. All right. And moving on to the 4-cell 3800 milliamp smart battery. And then, we talked about this earlier. Nothing new here. This is what's excited to me is this controller. So this is a new picture. I haven't seen this before. And what I wanted to do is probably go over all these icons. So the controller looks really nice because the word is that you can fold this thing up and take the sticks off, just like the rest of it. Oh yeah, this is a nicer looking picture of the camera. So it's showing you the motors, right? So your pitch motor, your roll motor, and your yaw motors here. Very nice, and then it's showing you the removable battery. Okay, moving on here. So we talked about the GPS, but the most important thing to note here is that we now have optical flow. So we have a camera with sonar, which is basically a little sound sensor on it. And that's how we're going to be able to get better landing, precision landing. And they're talking about here negative film download directly via wireless. So that's what that means. So you can download to your cloud or to your phone. And then here's the countries. And the GearBest did a really good job here of giving you what you need for each country, and here's the USA. All right, back up here, and there was a video. I thought there was a video up here, a YouTube video we can watch. So let's see if we can get that going. Where's that YouTube video? I thought I saw one here. Ah, yes, here it is. Let's play it. The unboxing. Yes, here we go, guys. Here's the Zino 2 unboxing. So very nice, right? Charter. Look at that. All right, so it looks like the same old kind of we had before, but this is brand new. The removable on the remote control and the folding antennas. No longer those wacky antennas that we had before. They were so big. The phone holder on the controller has always been a plus for me, and the cable management system was a plus to me. All right, let's get into the drone. Let's open this thing up. So you can see it's a very nice large drone. The battery is very large also, and there's the on-off button, and there's the sensors underneath. Got a quick look at it, and here's the controller and the icons. They don't give you much of a view there. And now we're going to compare the Zino versus the 2. All right, so with display, of course, that's exciting. Removable sticks, very nice. The batteries and a function button. There's the function button, and there's a sensor right there. And how you remove the super cable. That is it. Kudos to Zino. Awesome. Here it is. Here's the test flight. Here it is cruising. That's the camera with the sensors underneath. You can see the sensors being all the way in the back. And there's a picture of this. Wow, awesome. And there it is. Very exciting, right? Their pair display here is the Hubsan Zino 2, excuse me. Ooh, the LEDs are at a different location. Oh, so that is the movie, guys. So GearBest did a good job. Well done. And you can see this is my home, and this is what I normally watch, either soccer or drones. So I'm always in the Premier League, in the La Liga. So I hope you guys get some value out of this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up. All right, guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.